I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Let's get it started right, man. We've been pushing through this whole weekend, trying to make this thing happen, man. It's your boy Uptown Tone here, PPP JAWN special, very special interview we got going on. As y'all all know, you a Philadelphian and you in the basketball. The Danny Rumph tournament is coming up this week, the 4th to the 8th, Thursday to Monday. And we just wanted to shed some light on what they got going on over there. Not only the tournament and the game and the players, and maybe we can get him to let us know some special guests that's coming through.
That's
but
folks though.
right.
They folks, man.
Right, but also the behind the scenes of it and shit, man. So as usual, I got press coach to my left, but at OGEC today, I got my guy Sharif Hanford, man, one of the co-founders of the Danny Rumph tournament, and he's here today just to shed some light and tell us about what's going on, what they got going on with the tournament. So my guy Sharif, what's good with you, man?
Hey man, I'm chilling, man. Sharif Hanford, aka Tom Shepard, like I said before. You know.
You already know. All right, man. So start from the beginning, man. Give us a little background about Danny, some stuff that people may not know, man, and then we can take it from there, get into what happened, and ultimately where we are today.
All right, well, I mean, Danny was like, I tell people all the time, like, Danny was like the motivation, because he was like that good at a young age. Like, he was like really good. He was really like, see, I started playing football. I started playing for the Vandals, like 8. But like, Danny was going to George Ward, and like his folks was good. Like he had his dad. His dad was pretty good back in the day. His uncles, one of his uncles actually played overseas like 18 years.
Right.
But like this all the time while he a young boy, like, he growing up, so he really had it. Like I mean, my pop played and all that stuff, but I wasn't listening to my dad.
Right.
If you know his dad, you can confirm that. Definitely. But he like Danny he was fundamentally sound. Like he was super skilled. Handle was crazy. But what was the best attribute that I thought about was he could pass the ball. He could get everybody involved. So he was super good that way. But I mean, he was motivating everybody else to get better. We had to get in the gym. We had to hoop.
Right.
And that's what we did. So we started off like inland program outside. Like started off outside. A lot of people don't know Danny was actually like a really, really good football player. Like a great quarterback. Like a great quarterback.
Right.
Like on some Randall Cunningham type stuff. But yeah, so we did that. We was in the schoolyard all the time. I mean, I would go to his block. He would come to my block. You know what I mean? We had our own, like, we all was friends, but you had your own, like, little group of friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, we definitely eventually started playing in leagues and stuff. So when we started playing in leagues and stuff, I tell people this all the time. First league I ever played in was in Emily. I actually played on the same team as my little brother. So my little brother 5 years younger. This how crazy the league is. Like this like wide range. I'm like 13. I'm 12. He like 7, 8. So it's like
Right.
everybody's on the team. It's just like a little neighborhood. My man Nick, if he on here, he can confirm that as well. I mean, a bunch of people can confirm that on here.
Right.
But coming from football, we won a championship. Crazy story about that, right? Crazy story about the championship. What's the what's the Jordans with the records on the bottom?
The 10s.
The 10s. So whatever year that was the year.
94.
So yeah, 94. So it was 94. I'm in the championship year. I got the white and black pair on, and a white and blue pair on, like one of each shoe. That corny was terrible.
That corny.
Yeah, that was crazy. But so back in the day, you know how like they got like the little Jones you could wipe your feet on. They ain't had them in stores and none of that stuff back then. So, but I took the genius idea of thinking like I'm gonna use like Scotch tape, like duct tape, and tape my sneaks, right? So I tape my sneaks. I'm like, look, these Jones gonna be crazy, because the floor in Inland, anybody that ever been in Inland or around Inland, the floor was like a kitchen floor.
The kitchen floors is nasty.
Right.
So it was like our it wasn't our cafeteria, but it was like that.
Right.
Like one of them Jones. So
The square tile
I
floors.
remember.
The white ones.
The white ones that get extra sweaty and slippery.
So I'm like, oh, I take my sneaks off. Mind you, this is another little thing too. This is about me, not really about Danny. My mom came to this game, championship game. Me and my little brother playing. My mom probably only came to a football game and a basketball game. I think that's the only two.
Right.
Not because she didn't want to, but
My mom was the same way.
Right.
She stressed herself out.
my mom would have ran on the floor.
Yeah.
Say my mom came to one championship game that I ever was in when I was in 8th grade, and she said she smoked a whole pack of cigarettes. Luckily, that joint was an outdoor league, so she was good.
Right.
Hey Reef, I don't know, man. I don't be remembering. Reef asked me how I don't know when the sneaks came out.
Right.
94.
Sharif Bray was good with you, man.
But yeah, so my mom came to the game and everything, so I'm all hyped. I put my 2 different sneaks on. They both was at least I'm lying. They wasn't the sky blue pair. It was the black pair and one was the white pair, so it was 2 different colors and
Right.
everything. I run up and down the court twice. Shit was skeet, 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 skeet. After that, I'm talking about it picked up every dust particle in my neighborhood.
You cleaning the floor while you running around.
You making that joke clean for other niggas.
But I had to wear the sneaks that I brought up there. Like I was like, yo, this is crazy. But eventually, I mean, we won that championship game, and then we wasn't playing against Danny, but we won that championship. It was more about me.
Tom Shepard, the great Tom Shepard.
Then we went up to Mallory. So me and Danny not from like Morton and Dubois. Me and Danny is from Dogtown, like it's different, totally different neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like we went to play ball. That was the only little indoor gym around the way. So we was in there and we put like to this day like over 1 million hours into this day in that gym.
Facts.
Seriously.
Facts. And that's just not to cut you off, but that's where I was saying, like, that's where I met y'all when I was like 12, 13, coming to the gym, working out on Sundays with Coach Kyle.
So that probably was that summer.
Right.
It probably was that summer. It probably was that summer after that.
Right.
So after that, I go in to a league. It was a league called SNBL, Sixers Neighborhood Basketball. For those who don't know and don't remember, the Sixers used to sponsor leagues all around the city. And in every neighborhood, you had a Sixers Neighborhood Basketball League. So what it was it just was a neighborhood league. You got jerseys.
Yep.
They gave you little T-shirts and had the Sixers on them.
I felt like our joint was at the Powell, Tom.
Yeah.
Our
For
joint was
sure.
at the Powell, right? Near your house.
They was like sponsoring all the in-house leagues. So if you already had an in-house league in your neighborhood, the Sixers had like funding or whatever. They took care of it. They gave you the shirts that year and everything.
Yeah.
And like it was like probably like 6 to 8 teams. Everybody got a different color, but it's all the same logo on the front of the shirt. We definitely remember that.
Definitely. What's Meek Man name? White boy, the billionaire dude.
Ruben. Yeah.
Mike Ruben. We need that back.
We definitely need that back.
But so we go there. I get on the white team. I'm fresh off the championship. I'm still definitely a football player.
Right.
A couple guys. My man Brown played on the team. My man James played on the team. But this is where I knew him. Like I met him prior to this, but this is where me and that's definitely a great team. This is where me and my main man Sharif Bray teamed up for the first time. And guess what happened?
I want to chill. Yep.
I guess what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went. Danny played in that league as well. I mean, his team was good, but again,
Right.
we
We won the championship.
but yeah, I actually played against another guy that we all know in that championship game, Wayne Bishop. So Wayne Bishop might have been averaging 34 in that league.
Tom used to always say how nice Wayne was.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I went to school, man. I went to high school, man. Shout out to Wiz, man. That's my guy, man. He showed me the ropes. He showed me a lot, man.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Morak just tapped into the lot.
My guy, Mike Morak, man. But yeah, Wayne is. I definitely went to high school with Wayne. I went to high school with Mike Morak. We was all in the hallways at the same time. But Wayne was definitely good, man. Wayne was somebody who definitely took basketball serious as fuck and was like along the lines of Danny. So some of these people who had names, like you were saying earlier, was making names for themselves. And like when you actually got to cross paths with them, it's like, oh, all right, like. You know what I mean? The competitive part of you was like, all right, I'm about to test my mic. But it's also like, you're like, damn, that's the bull. You know what I mean?
So the funny story about that championship game, we talking about everybody saying, oh, y'all play against Wayne Bishop. So I'm thinking that Wayne Bishop is 6'5".
Right.
And I see Wayne Bishop. I'm like, man, I knew this bull forever, bro.
Right.
Like, not what? So I'm guarding Wayne Bishop in the championship game. Wayne, you only had like 12 that game too, man. There's no way to check the stats, so you only had 12, but you definitely ain't had 34. We won that joint. We had a dude named James Gibbs. He went to Central. He was old. He definitely led the team.
All right, man. So get back to this championship with your mismatched Jordans that you was telling us about, though. We need to.
We passed that one. We passed the mismatched Jordans. We went to Mahler.
Oh, we had another chip. You got y'all had another. This is the third. You about to three-peat them?
No, so what happened was it's the first two leagues I ever played in.
Mm-hmm.
First two basketball leagues I ever played in, I won the championship.
Right.
So the first one was at Emlyn. It's like a school around my way.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went up to Mallory, which is like a real gym.
Right.
And that's where I actually I'm about to break this line. That's where I actually like won my second championship.
Gotcha.
And after winning my second championship, it was just like, yeah, y'all can have these cleats, y'all can have these helmets, these
Right.
Shoulder pads, rib pads. I'm cool. Like I found my calling.
That's what I do now. I'm a hooper.
Yeah, I play basketball. So, you know what I mean? Even with that, we won those championships, but like we won those championships like as a team. It was
Right.
great individuals that played in that league. Like we mentioned before, Jahai Sneed,
Yes.
my man Kev, Chip Green.
Yo, Chip was in there.
So this one he just was Kev Green. He got
Right.
to be Chip at like 20. I don't know how he got a
Well,
name.
he was another. He was another dual sport dude, and I feel like Chip came from football more than basketball. I feel like Chip came from football more than basketball.
That was my guy. Always trying to fight all the time.
Yep.
He was crazy. Everybody say I'm crazy. He was crazy. Oh my god.
Right.
But no. So we won that joint. And once that happened, we started dedicating like a lot of time to the gym, going up to the gym.
And that's what I was gonna say. Now, because it seems like we right there. Take us to Mallory. Take us to the Mallory boys. Take us into that era where y'all build the names, because y'all had some names around it. Like y'all had like Mallory had names, dog.
Yeah. So that's what. So that's how it all started. Like those leagues, like that, like SNBL, those neighborhood leagues. It wasn't like a lot of the guys that people don't know was really, really good. Like my man Joe Parker, he played on my team a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
He hit all the
I remember
game
Joe.
winners.
Yep.
He hit all the game
Yep.
winners coming up as a
Yep.
kid. Like
Yep.
he got like 7 of them Jones.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Just like a lot of people. Like that's just like my age, not even the younger guys.
Right.
My brother Kyrie, Corey, Malcolm, all them dudes. But like we had like great guys that played. There was a dude that played down Duval Street. He was older than us. He never played nowhere. His name was Ahmad. Bro, he was the deal.
Right.
He was the deal.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Back then everybody didn't play basketball to be somebody in a school or somebody
Right.
that's going.
Right.
They played basketball because that's what we did, and it was like respect, and you actually had to like go out there and earn everything, like your name, all that stuff. Like you was going out there and actually like playing hard. Like
That's a fact.
you'll get a guy in some jean shorts that was drinking a 40, he cooking you, like literally. You like oh hey, you drunk? Like no, and go crazy. He definitely gonna stop you. Like definitely, like you getting stole. Like
Right.
and y'all gonna have to fight.
Right.
But that's like really like that's where we all started our like competitive nature, like playing against each other and all that stuff. Like you said, when you came out, we used to work out.
Yep.
Like it was like wars. When we worked out, it wasn't no cell phone. It wasn't none of that. It was we got workouts at this day, at this
Yep.
time.
Right.
When you get there, I didn't live far, so I got there earlier. But like by the time before the gym doors opened up, it's 10, 20, 30 people outside.
Yep.
So we getting in and we going in there and we going to work. But like Danny was always a guy that led the charge. He always had the fundamentals. He always was just good, man, like literally good. And not only just good as a basketball player, but like good as like a human being too.
Right.
I've never had an argument with him. Like I've never had like an argument, like disagreement. We was laughing. We might joke. We always joked. I always bust on him because he was like Urkel. He definitely Urkel. Eyes all popping out his head. boys is just bust and go back and forth like that, talk about each other pop, you know what I'm saying? Because his pop played, my pop played, and they knew each other. But like, he definitely had like all like the fundamentals and all that stuff down pat, and we was all playing catch up. But like he was like one of the guys that we were trying to catch. You know?
Right. One of the things that I fuck with the most about Mallory and just being around there, like it was the first gym I was, like I said, because I was a late bloomer, but a lot of times you get clowned for not being good, or people pick on you for not being good. And this was the first gym where the actual people in there, you know what I'm saying? You know it's still a little bit of that once you get comfortable and once you become a recognizable face. But more than anything, dudes is telling you little stuff like, nah, don't do it like that. Do it like this. Like, nah, like nobody want anybody in the gym to be weak, because we ultimately, like you said, going to play in a league where it's going to be a time where you're going to be a teammate of this person. Even if it's in a drill that's coming later on when Coach Kyle break us up into teams. You don't want that weak, whoever is presumed to be a weak link, to be on your team. So these guys was guys that was helping as well as Coach Kyle. Coach Kyle wasn't the only coach in there. Danny was a coach in there. Nah, do it like this. Do it.
Seriously.
Yeah, just do it like this. Nah, do it like he would always pull me to the side, or pull not even just me, but anybody to the side. Like, no, you should do it like that, or watch me go, watch me do it.
Or just shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Bro, shoot it.
Yeah.
You gotta score, bro. You gotta shoot.
Yeah, but just as far as your peers instilling confidence in you, that's the first gym where that happened for me. Like, damn, not only am I, but like, yeah, dudes are definitely bust on you or whatever, but it's also like, you know what I mean? All right, now that we got the jokes out, no, this is the way you kind of want to do it, because we don't want you out here looking bad. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So as far as basketball wise go, that I think that came from us not really being guys that was picked up by ourselves. Like,
Right.
we all was like, yo, we all worked hard. Like nobody, when we came in gym when we was young, nobody thought we was going to win, and we would run them out the gym.
Right.
But that goes to show like it's a lot of us that are like coaches.
Right.
Like I would have never thought, if you would have came to me back then and like, yo, you gonna be coaching kids, I'd have been like, what? Why would they listen to me? But then like Sharif, Justin, that's just a lot of guys that
Yep.
definitely still like coach basketball and all that stuff. And I got stories. I remember when my man Danny, my young boy Norm. So Norm was like from Danny Block.
Mhm.
Like Norm was like our young boy. Like Norm probably like 34 now. So you know what I'm saying. But Danny taught him how to make a left hand layup.
Right.
It's crazy. He told him. Because Danny had a court around his way. This is where I kind of skipped this part. Before we went to Mallory, like we used to play. Like Danny had a court. He used to bring it out, and we used to actually go to his block and play. We used to like legendary, like 3-on-3, 2-on-2 games and stuff like that. So it was like in the driveway, but where the street and the driveway met it was like a little dip. So he would tell Norm that you gotta think that's like alligator there. You gotta jump over the alligators and make the layup. And my man, I wish my man Norm was in here right now. He'd tell you that story, but like he definitely did that. I remember when one of my homies, Rush, he was just in a live. He was telling me, I was like, yo, I never thought I'd be a coach. He's like, what you talking about? You used to always help me out. You and Danny and all.
Right.
I said, what? Dino, everybody knows Dino.
Everybody knows
was
Dino.
my guy, man.
Yeah.
Dino was my. When everybody used to try to pick on Dino, I'm like, oh man, go ahead, shoot the ball. He'll tell you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So coaching kind of, I think that was started through Coach Kyle, but it came all through all of us because we definitely had to like get better. Everybody had to be good.
Right,
We
yeah.
didn't have no hype.
Right, y'all was
We
just
had
trying to
no
make
hype.
everybody better.
Bro, everybody had to be good. We all, and they be like, yo, you a point guard? But everybody that was in our gym was a point guard. Bro, y'all was the same size.
Right.
Right.
Everybody was the same size. I could jump, but so I was guarding other people. But like, no, we was all guard. I remember I was guarding Eric Davis, 6'10",
Yeah.
6'10" Eric Davis. Like,
I just said that last night. It was funny because when I started playing basketball, I was like, I was a 5 because I was like in elementary school, like I'm taller than everybody else. So when I first got around Hardnet or whatever, like I'm looking at my size and I'm a guard now, and I never learned how to be a guard. Like I'm learning all these big man post moves. So I'm kind of like telling them, yeah, I'm a 5. Like I don't really be dribbling the ball. So they like, oh, go down there with the 5s. I go down there with the 5s. E. Davis, Jamal Nichols. I'm like. Nah, maybe I'm just gonna learn how to dribble the ball. I'm not about to get. I'm not gonna come down here with these dudes. They like 6'10", 6'11" already in high school, dog. I know the moves. What I'm about to do with them? I'm 5'11".
yeah, no, seriously.
So it's just funny that you brought up E. Davis, man, because E. Davis, yeah, for sure.
That was my guy. We was fighting too. One time he was talking.
Who didn't E. Davis fight, though?
E. Davis was crazy.
He fought everybody.
Crazy, yo.
He had to go to Camden to finish his year out. He had to finish his year out with DeJuan Wagner.
He used to talk crazy. That's my
Cause he fought with Tamar Forshawn. I feel like it was Tamar Forshawn that Roman. Yeah.
I think tomorrow rap now. Yeah, I was following him on what's he called for, man.
We need a Philly, what you call them? A Philly. Where are they now as far as basketball? Like you said, I mean, there'd be a lot of crazy stories with the people we was in. But since you there, man, now take us to high school. Now we in high school and y'all all like, cause I'm looking around and now I'm coming to the gym and I know everybody and I'm still trying to make my little name, but I'm going through whatever politics that I was going through. And me and Mike talked about that last night. We two of the most disrespected players in McDevitt history, dog. Easily, dog.
Absolutely.
Easily, dog. And everybody around us know it because we've been in the gym with these guys, but we go there and they act like we can't play at all. Like it's crazy.
Right.
But take us through that time because around this time I know shit getting crazy. Like Justin is at ENS, Danny's at Parkway, Sharif Bray is at Central going crazy. You was at Germantown, I feel like, right? Yeah. You at Germantown, you doing your thing, dog. Tell me how y'all viewing shit, how shit is going on the day to day here, and also while you in there, you gotta give me whatever tournament it was, and you gotta give me the Legend of Skookas. You gotta give me that story too.
I'll let you know that.
You gotta give me that. You gotta give me that story too.
I'll go even like a little bit before that. So we all went to Germantown. When me and Danny went to Germantown together,
Mhm.
he went to Germantown first. Like, so when our 9th grade year, Danny got cut. Danny got cut by Coach Yuss. Well, Coach Yuss cut Michael Jordan. He cut Flip Murray. So this is the people that he cut, and they went to other schools and became who they are.
Coach Josh, you a wild bull.
That's crazy.
I don't even rest in peace, Coach Yuss. I think you died, but
Rest in peace,
my
Coach.
bad, OJ, but if you didn't, but yeah, you was a wild bull. You was definitely
My bad if you didn't is even crazy.
Somebody told me he died, but I mean,
You never know. Motherfuckers be lying.
bro, he was like 60 then. He had to be, or he was white, so he probably was like 25.
We gonna give a respect. We gonna give a respectful rest in peace to Coach Hughes. I think you know what I'm saying.
But no, so he cut a lot of people, but you know what I mean, I couldn't listen. My grade, I ain't go to class. I went to school every day. Every day, but I ain't go to class though.
Right.
So like that was definitely not my card. So basically, what happened was Danny mom takes him out to school. He goes to Imhotep. So what a lot of people don't know about Danny is Danny was like at Imhotep before.
In the trailers.
No, before the trailers. It was at Parkway. It was on Parkway campus.
Oh shit! I
So
didn't
we
even
talking about the 90s.
Right.
We talking about 98 probably. No, it was 98.
Yeah.
98.
Yeah.
98 he went to Imhotep. He went there, it was no basketball team, it was nothing. It was just a charter school. This charter school was brand new. Again, Germantown was about to be kicked out. I had some firecrackers, they talked to me, I had explosives, like they ain't find them on me, so I had to come back for a little hearing. I left, I went to Lutheran. A bunch of guys from Uptown, Ebo, Pete.
I was about to say Diddy, all of them was there at that time,
Diddy
dog.
was there, T, who else? B. Jones, who else was there? Lean, a bunch of people was there. So that's where I was at for the next year and a half. But Danny went to Parkway, so Danny went to Imhotep, so he didn't play 10th grade. Then I want to say Danny transferred to Parkway. They was on the same campus.
Right.
So I want to say Danny played 11th and 12th grade at Parkway. Then I came back to Germantown because again I never went to my hearing, so I never got kicked out. So I just left. You know what I'm saying? So I came back and I played for Germantown. But Justin was at ENS. Sharif went to Central. Who else? Who else was with us? Sharif went to Central. Jihad actually was at Dobbins first. So
Right.
when Jihad, he spent 9th and 10th grade at Dobbins, and then he came back. So when Jihad came back, I came back. Jihad came back before me, and then I came back to Germantown. So now we all on the same team. Me, Jihad, Troy Ford, my man Corey. I just seen Corey, 6'8", 6'9" bull. Who else was on that team? A bunch of people. Paul Thomas. Paul Thomas played football. Yeah, PT definitely played football and basketball.
PT was talk about nice quarterbacks. PT, dog, yeah, that's my guy. Cause PT from where, like you said, from the outside looking in, Uptown just Uptown, but we not only that, but we moved through the dog towns and the German towns, and you know what I'm saying. Once you get the brickyards, we start. You know what I mean. Even though you might be from one place, you gonna go visit the other if the opportunity is better for whatever sport you play.
Yeah, definitely. But so like those was all on my Germantown team. But like as far as like Danny left Imhotep the year before he got a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted him to stay because they was gonna start a charter league. But for what Danny was trying to do, he left and went to the pub.
Right.
And he went to the pub and he was killing. Like he definitely was like, well, we all knew what he was gonna do.
Right.
And we all saw him doing this stuff because we all played in the summertime. So when we talk
It's
about
crazy.
when we talk about high school accolades and stuff like that, see, when I went to Luton the first time, it was like a Christian school, so it was kind of like we played like all the friend schools, but it wasn't really like it wasn't internet stuff. So if they wasn't reporting our games to the newspaper and all that stuff, we would see ourselves in there, but it wasn't really getting like the proper just due, I guess, that it deserved. So a lot of our stuff went unsung. Like we didn't what's going on. Listen, crazy story, another player, Ebo, I just was talking to him about 2 weeks ago. We played International Christian, they had like this little Chinese boy and they had Kobe Williams too. But we was talking crazy to Ebo, like you a Chinese boy said he's gonna cook you. Bro, they press, man, this boy Ebo in and out the whole press, in and out everybody. Everybody at one point in time, like all 5 of their players on the ground, we all just laughing. He get mad at us for not cutting to the basket. We like, bro, you don't see what's happening. That's just a crazy story, right?
Right.
But yeah, but we definitely all was playing in different places, which was probably one of our major mistakes. I think we all should have stayed together. I think that like we all should have probably went to the same school, but academically, it was a hard sell to tell Justin not to go to ENS. It's a hard sell to tell Sharif not to go to Central.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like his pop was somebody from Mallory was in that Central at that time.
No,
too.
his dad graduated from there.
Right.
So like that's why it's like
Exactly, it's like a lineage.
It's like a tradition.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I ain't mad at him. I mean,
No, not at all.
he had a great career. I mean, we all did actually.
Yep.
But yeah, he definitely Sharif definitely did his own thing there. But we all should have stayed together because we knew how to play as a unit. You know what I mean? But we didn't win at school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We won the summers. So
Right.
I've been
That's a fact.
like me, like the summertime been my thing since the 90s.
We know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I've been winning like Positive Image.
Yep.
We've been winning Sunny Hill.
Yep.
We've been winning all the what was Tony San Martino classics and all that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we've been winning in the summertime, and I've been doing a lot of winning in the summertime all my life. So if anybody want to know, like you can check the record. I've been winning a lot.
No,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
that's definitely what he's been doing.
Definitely. So it's like with Danny actually went and actually it's my man Shannon Gibbons right here. Me and Shannon do a lot of winning together. Too.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to
Definitely Shannon Gibbons.
Yeah, shout out to the Gibbons brothers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Same answer. But nah, so as far as back to Danny in his high school, he went to Parkway. He played with a great Romeberg. He played with Javon Austin.
Yep.
He played with a lot of great Keenan Muhammad.
Mhm.
A lot of great guys. He was definitely the leader of that team. He went on to go to MCI.
And that's, for me, that's when I knew, like, oh, this shit about to be real. Because at that point, I was really getting into basketball, and from what I learned at that point, MCI had already put out, Cat went there, and
Sam Cassell went there.
Sam Cassell went there, but also from our area, Juan Robinson from King went there.
I think that's the plug to Danny getting in there
Was
was
Juan.
I don't know. I mean, Juan.
Right.
I could ask him, but I never asked him about it. But I think Juan was the reason why
Right.
Danny even went up there. And when I tell you, like, transformation, he left in September. He came back. I want to say around December time, around Christmas break, like a completely different person.
Yeah, that's when it was over.
So we didn't play basketball then, but you could see like the physicality, like in like his body.
Yep.
Like he definitely was like a different person. And we like, what? You keep lifting all these weights, and he also came back with a bunch of tattoos.
right.
Not like see people think of tattoos now, like the sleeves and all that stuff.
Right.
we talking about like 25 like little tattoos,
Yup.
like little joints, like
We
like
did.
the joints you see on the wall.
They wasn't connecting them.
They
Every
wasn't-
tattoo was an
Right,
individual
right,
tattoo,
right.
an
No, I know
individual
exactly
story of
what you
itself.
mean.
Right, right.
It was terrible. It was terrible. So,
But they wasn't coordinated.
No, so like he came back. So when he came back for good, he came back for good. And like, no, when he first came back, he probably had like 2. When he came back for good, it was like in like, I want to say like May. Man, he was like 25.
Right.
He had all these tattoos. He ain't had no neck tattoos though. He had a tattoo on the side of his chest, right here, and he had like a birthmark on the side of his chest, but he got it tattooed around. It was like a it looked like a bullet getting shot through a window, like when a bullet shoot through a window was that,
Mm-hmm.
and it said, "Only God can judge me." I looked at this boy. I said, "What? What did you?"
I was the bad one. You don't even do nothing wrong.
Bro, I was the bad one. So like I was the one that was like doing stuff and
Right.
being like detained for it.
Right.
That's another name. But yeah, so him, I'm like, yo, these crackers up there bleaching your dome. We all started cracking up laughing. But he also had a tattoo that was crazy. It was like a raptor and with a basketball like grabbing on his arm and stuff like that. So that's when he came back with all the tattoos. But he also came back. Literally, he left 180. He came back 180, but it was a different
It
one.
was a different one.
He was cut like a bag of dope.
Yep.
But so then coming out of there, he had some good schools, but the biggest name school that I remember and that he actually was gonna go to was Florida State. He was gonna be a Seminole, and if he was gonna be a Seminole, I was gonna be out there like every weekend. Kentucky, I'm cool. Like, you can have Kentucky, but Florida State.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Yeah, definitely. But no, so the coach wound up getting fired at Florida State. So that fell through for him. He had a couple other schools, but he definitely had a rough go of like going into school. He wound up going to Western Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Western Kentucky. Of course, I'd never heard of it before.
Right.
He got there and stuff like that. But my man playing D1, like nobody can mess with him. Nobody. He better than everybody. I have arguments about him and stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he goes into college. Going into college, I'm looking at him to be like, we out of here, baby. So he going to college, and it's not like that. It's not like the what I thought it was gonna be for him.
Right.
And I was in school at the time. I went to Penn State School Kid. I was in school.
I was just about to say that because I was at Abington at the time.
Yeah. I'm watching me and my roommate. We watching the game.
Who's your roommate? Reed Jackson?
No, Reed Jackson.
Reed,
When I first went there,
I'm about to say because Reed Jackson was up there too.
Reed might be on this live. Reed Jackson definitely,
Right.
definitely that's my guy.
Right.
But I had went in the room with my man Mikkel Stibbins.
Okay.
Mikkel Stibbins, he played on a bunch of our rep teams too. When I went to we watching the game. Me and Kel watching the game. Danny dribbling the ball at the top of the key. He drive right. He drive all the way under the rim and pass the ball out. I'm cussing him out. I'm calling his phone and watching the game. He's in the game. I'm calling his phone like, yo.
Just so he see it when he get to the.
I'm snapping him. So he called me back like later on that night, and I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm like, dog, what the? I'm cussing him out. Like, what is you doing? This, that, blah. I'm talking crazy about. He said, yo, it ain't what it ain't what you think it is. He told me. He said, yo, the coach told me. This the coach that recruited me. If I put the ball between my legs, he's taking me out the game. And I'm like, what?
What?
That's like what you do. So he was like, I don't know. But my whole take on all that stuff is like, when you go there and they recruit you there and nobody know you, it's like they hold you back a little bit. Then might hold you back freshman year, sophomore year, let you go junior, senior year. In my eyes, it looks like now they built a player. Like, so if you coming out of high school and you're a player that's coming out the streets and you could average 16 in college, that's a lot of points.
Right.
But if I hold you back and you average 4, then you average 7, then you average 16, it's like, yo, I built this dude. I made this dude like to who he is.
Right.
And it's like, nah, you didn't, bro.
Right. I was always this.
You actually held him back. a lot of people don't be NBA players. I don't know if Danny would have been an NBA player. I mean, he would definitely have a shot, but he definitely would play overseas.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just think that like he had. I feel like he shouldn't have went that far because his demeanor. I feel like another guy, Stop Shakur. I feel like Stop Shakur shouldn't have went that far.
Went way too
Because
far.
the demeanor, like these guys are really nice guys. They was listening to those coaches. A player like me, I would have said, "Yeah, man, eat a dick."
Right.
No, you're not gonna tell me what to do. Like,
Right.
We would have been fighting,
Right.
literally. So like, I just think that he should have stayed home to some more of his, stay closer to his support system, and it would have. And it's for all the young guys out there too. Like a lot of you guys, some of you guys need to get away. A lot of you guys need to get away. Let's say that again. But some of you guys, y'all don't got that to go away. Y'all need y'all support system and take that in consideration when y'all picking these schools, man.
Right.
Because these coaches gonna get you out there and you out there all by yourself and they gonna brainwash you.
Right.
Play silent, wait your turn. All those type of terms is brainwashing. I mean, and the coaches, and this may be something that people don't like, but coaches are there for them and their job and winning the game. If we win the game by 1 or win the game by 15, we won. So at the end of the day, if you can't help us win the game by 15, 20, 30 points, it's like, if we gonna barely win the game by 3 points, or are we gonna hold you back? We gonna run this system? We gonna win by 1? I know we gonna win by 1. I'm gonna do what I know works.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. But you know, like, so after that, we coming up on like coming home. So we come home in the summer times now. So now we come home in the summertime. We got mileage. Like we don't got mileage. Like it's a bunch of us that got it. But my man, we got the keys to the gym. So we going to the gym. So we definitely going to the gym and we getting and we playing. Like we getting shots at first, then we playing. So it became a thing to where at the time all the players that were playing in college, like the whole city was there.
Yeah. I remember.
Like the whole city used to come out. Like we used to, it was D1, D2, D3, whoever. Like, but if you was good, you was good.
Yeah, especially if you from Philly at that time. When you come home on breaks, when you come home for whatever, like you fishing for rec. Not only are you fishing to just play basketball and to get back into the city, but guys kind of want to show off their shit. They want to show people where they at, where they been at. Like you've been at this school, yeah, you've been at that school, you've been at this school. Like he said, your situation might not be ideal, or where you might not be where you want to be in school, but you know where your game at when you come home to talk shit with your guys and to play with your guys. So that's where we all anticipated. There was a lot of keys to a lot of gyms floating around the city at that time where guys would link up, dog.
Absolutely, and not even just keys. We was going outside. Like I literally like, we were just talking about this like a month ago. We used to get in the car. Me, Danny, Reef, Darnell Johnson, Matt Jefferson. Who else? Justin Scott.
MJ, man.
We used to be going out at Parkside at 3 in the morning till 5. We used to be going out Venice Island, like all that stuff. I had seen my man Nip, Coach Nip. I seen Nip out there before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, Scooty, check it up, Scooty. I don't like that game y'all won in Brotherly Love too. But yeah, but no. So we was doing that. We was playing outside as well, but we was actually going in the gym too. But we was actually going in the gym, going home, eating, washing up, going probably laying down a little bit, then calling each other because this cell phone still was slim.
Yeah, it wasn't that everybody had one. Maybe 1 or 2 guys in your group might have had one. You might have still be able to use your phone real fast.
This still was the house phone era.
Right.
The clear joint.
Yep.
The light up?
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
joint.
Yeah.
The one way.
Yep. The one way.
Emergency breakthroughs.
Yo, emergency breakthroughs.
Yeah, party line. They don't know about that.
They don't know
They don't know
about
about
that.
that.
They wasn't there. They
They was not there. So like that joint. So like that's what we were doing. People was calling. Like we calling 2:30 in the morning. Yo, we about to go hoop. So we getting cars now. So like people having cars, people doing little things. So we packing in cars and we going out and we hooping. And we come back to the crib 5 in the morning, bro. Like 5 in the morning, like literally after just hooping all night.
Yep.
Just so that was the time. That was our summers at the time. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. It was crazy that, you know what I mean, we was just playing basketball. Like right now in the city, it's retarded. Like they was leaving the gym, leaving the Parkside lights stayed on all night.
All night. Some of them did.
All night, like all night. Like so, it was people outside playing all night.
Right.
But I don't know if that can happen right now. Like,
No.
matter of fact, I know for a fact it can't happen right now.
Nah.
So like,
It ain't safe.
but I feel like that's what made it not safe. Not being able to know people, not being able to go and meet people, bro. I had went out to I went and played in this game in AC. This little celebrity game. It was like a car show, like Funk Master Flex car show, sort of like an N1 type of game.
Right.
Swear to God, we got there late. As soon as I'm walking on the floor, Bone Collector like, yo, Reef, what's up? I'm looking at him like, how you, what? He like, Miss Me, Bone, 52nd Street. Remember you had the braids, the hops? I'm like, yo, he got it. I just seen Bone Collector in LA like a month, like 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. He was like, yo, what's up, bro? What you still be hooping and all that stuff? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. He really remember me.
Right.
But yeah. So like, that's what it was about. Like the culture of basketball at the time, especially in this city, but all over too. Like I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of guys from all over that got stories like this. But so just back to Danny, like he was just like he was that work, like, and we would see it and we like, yo, but like going into a school like that, confidence, like as a basketball player, but as a person that plays sports, what you have, the only thing that you really have, everybody got skill at a certain point, is the confidence in your abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
And when somebody gets you second guessing yourself, that's like some of the worst things. Some of the worst, like
You playing your worst basketball.
your worst in life, like period. Like
Right.
if you thinking one way and the person got you second guessing what you thinking, bro, you be like going through it like, damn, like I know what I know, but you know what I mean, and that's not cool. And I mean, and if you ever in a situation like that, I feel like you need to step back. You know what I mean? Like I felt like Danny needed to just step back. And when he came home, he was him.
Yeah, he was him. Take us to I mean, we here. This is probably the part of the, you know what I mean, that we was not dreading, but you know, we ultimately had to get here and shit. But that's because we around the times. He home, like you said, he's him. He's home, and not only is he home, he thirsty. Y'all riding around. Y'all looking for that comp. Y'all looking for them games. Y'all looking for that. Were you in the gym on the day when it happened?
No.
Got you.
So
Go ahead.
It's a crazy story. That's another story about mine that go to that, and let's go to my detention.
Right.
Some of my I don't want to say various detentions, but just
Some extracurricular activities you was involved in.
But it actually was like I really believe like it was like from upstairs, like because everything surrounding the circumstances of like me in that weekend was like extra weird. So we hoop on Friday, right? So mind you, it's May, Mother's Day on Sunday. So we hooping on Friday. Everybody came home. Crazy because like everybody know if you're like a basketball player and you're a basketball player in college, when you come home on your breaks, you really don't be having no ball stuff. Like you don't have no sneaks, you don't have nothing because everything's at school.
Everything at school. You just came with the bare minimum.
Right. You come home with the bare minimum. So like the time before that, what's the break before Mother's Day break? Before you get that Mother's Day break, it wasn't spring break. It was a break that we was home, and I was with Danny, and I ain't have my stuff because all my stuff was at school. And we went to the pile, and I seen Ramon Galloway. We seen Ramon Galloway in the gym. This one he wasn't Ramon Galloway. This one was Boney Money.
So it's Boney. This is around my age bracket.
Right.
Like me and Boney like the same. We the same age. So
you remember the
I
Boney
played
game.
you with Boney and the twins.
Yep.
Like we was on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew Moni since Moni was like the second grade. You know, Moni Uncle Drew played for Germantown with me.
Right. Moni from back was Hicken.
No, he's from back. Like, Moni's from back everywhere, bro.
Right.
I started seeing him down Erie Avenue. I'm like, yo, Moni, what the hell are you doing down here? So when Moni was like, he was like in second and third grade. He used to come to our practices because his uncle was there, and he used to come to our practice. He used to be in our school and everything. I'm like, Moni, what are you doing? And that was just like my young boy ever since. Like that's my guy. But like and Drew, that's my man. Drew. I'm gonna give you who Drew was in high school. The boy with the Coogis and the jerseys and all that stuff. That was him. That was Drew. That definitely was Drew. shit, that's still Drew now. So Moni, I had seen Moni in the pile, and Moni was talking crazy trash to Danny. He was talking crazy trash to Danny, and he was like, this, that, third. Oh, you a bum, this, that, fourth. But as soon as Danny would run down the other end, mind you, I couldn't play, so I'm on the sideline, and it was kind of. So I'm like, he like, yo, he is all that, yo, this, that, the third. Look at him, watch what he do. Then he come back, you was a bum. This, that, that. He was giving Danny hell. So when he came back. When he came back, I think Danny did something crazy, and he dunked the ball. Moni was so hyped, like, oh, that's crazy. So Moni and this is a crazy thing, and this is a crazy, like, another, like, it's sad, but you know what I mean. There was a kid named Danny Rumph that played for that played for King.
Yep.
He played for King. He played football though. So I think Moni and him was cousins. And I'm not. My timeline might be a little bit off, which I think it is, but I think he had passed by this time, and like I think Moni was writing his name on his arm.
Yeah. Shout out to Danny. Danny is our guy. Danny from back Simons with us. Danny from back the blocks. Like we grew up with Danny. Danny was dumb nice in football, yo.
So it's a different Danny. It's not Danny Rumph.
It's not Danny Rumph,
but his name is Danny Rumph.
Just to show you how much we revere, because I mean, like I said, I was in the gym with Danny, but even back there, like at this time, in Philly, the legend of Danny Rumph, because you got to figure, like Reef is saying, like Western Kentucky is one thing, Parkway is one thing, but when you talk about Morris Estate League, when you talk about Simons League, when you talk about 16th and Suskew, if you were a young basketball player, if you were a basketball player, period, an elite basketball player, because that age, the rec leagues, that's where you make your name. And when he says Danny was riding around going to these places, he for sure was, and he was making his name.
No friends in the industry, my brothers been my brothers, man. They don't killing me a fact. Yeah, you heard about me, you don't know me more than that. Yeah, I know hey, yeah. No friends in the industry, my brothers been my brothers, man. They don't killing me a fact.